Put This On? And I'm Chris Lorenz, the host, and we're here with episode 8, and we watched Doomsday Preppers, season 4, episode 1. To my left is
Harrison Hoffman.
Sitting to his left,
James Rawl.
sitting to my right,
Robert Kitts.
and today we have a special guest because Rocky Max Boa is not with us today. So sitting next to Rob is
Brian Houston.
all right. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Great to be here, Chris. Let me say you have a lovely studio here.
I mean, it's such an honor for us to have you here. Very thankful that you could come, hang out.
Are you a big fan of reality TV, Brian?
Absolutely. It's it's so bad it's good, usually.
Also, sometimes it's so good it's good, like with Doomsday Preppers.
Oh, man.
Wait, can it be so good it's bad? Can that be a thing?
No.
That's the only option.
No, they're so bad it's bad.
It's kind of like
If it's like a really good movie, right? You know, like people tell you this movie's great, and then you go and you see it, and you're like, that was pretty shitty.
so. If you,
What?
What?
I don't see how that's so good.
I'm
it's
assuming
bad,
you're
though.
trying to go with somebody told you good, and your
Right,
expectations were high,
Right.
but you thought it was you didn't
So
think
good
it was
it's-
mediocre.
No, like if a movie's critically acclaimed to be like, you know, the best movie of like the times, and you go and see it, like, well, it's kind of shitty.
So you're talking about like Citizen Kane, like specifically.
Yeah, like specific sort of movies, not
Sure.
that movie in specific, but there
Okay.
are like certain movies through the course
like,
of history.
like be specific.
I'm trying to think of one.
Maybe-
I can't really right now.
Maybe like a Citizen Kane or like a 2001: A Space Odyssey. Maybe
Yeah.
something-
Oh, yeah.
something like
That's
that.
it. Yeah, that's the one. That movie is fucking terrible.
I wouldn't say it's terrible. I think it's
It's
boring.
the worst
Oh,
fucking
man.
movie
Oh,
ever.
man.
It's pretty boring.
I understand we do a show about reality TV. You can't just be knocking 2001 on our podcast.
It's so bad.
It's a little drawn out.
There's no
Are
point.
you
to
going
that
to defend it now, Chris?
I mean, I've only seen like half of it.
movie. Yeah, that's because it was so bad. You couldn't watch the whole thing.
I was trying to watch it on a plane. It just wasn't working out. I
Yeah.
need to see it in the theater, but I didn't think it was terrible.
So in short, it was so good it was bad.
I've heard you need to see it high.
That might be good. You might be right on that one.
No, that's what I've heard.
I mean, you can't get much higher than an airplane, Rob.
Some solid counterpoint.
Somebody cue the musical drum
right.
instrument.
So when James says like so good it's bad, like I think of that one episode of Futurama where like Fry like is like eating that like pure slurm stuff that he just can't stop eating, and like it's really really bad for him. But like he like like his friends almost all die because he can't stop shoveling the slurm into his mouth.
What? Oh,
Yeah. And I'll know. Has anyone
man.
seen that? I've seen it.
I've seen that.
Oh,
Great.
okay.
So you're basically saying like McDonald's is so good it's bad. You
Sure.
can't stop eating it, but it's terrible for you.
Something like that. Yeah.
All right.
All right. So does somebody have the?
I do.
You have the.
I have the
studio
about the
prepped?
show right from NationalGeographic.com about Doomsday Preppers. Doomsday Preppers explores the lives of otherwise ordinary Americans who are preparing for the end of the world as they know it. Unique in their beliefs, motivations, and strategies, preppers will go to whatever lengths they can to make sure they are prepared for any of life's certainties. Then it goes on more about the season and whatnot, but we could probably just jump to the show, I feel like.
All right. Well, the show was absolutely garbage. I want to turn this off
Really?
immediately. Yeah.
This show for me was fascinating. Like
Garbage.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's like watching horrors. Like, you know it's horrible, but you just can't look away because...
Well, I'm not saying all of this was garbage. I'm just saying, like, we saw the same thing multiple times. They said the same thing, like, 18 times. Like, these guys are getting prepared for whatever the fuck they think is going to be the problem. And every commercial break, they had to recap for a whole minute. It was just... I just can't stand it. It takes forever.
What I personally liked is that like every person had like a different backstory that caused them to like go into this state where they're like prepping.
that's like the best part of the show is when it's like this black background with like an insane close up of their face. It just keeps zooming in as they're telling like their prepper like origin story. Like the best moment of the show is when like in the very beginning when like that guy Jimmy Falcon's face is on the TV and it's just zooming in. I'm telling his insane story. Like that guy is
Uncomfortably close.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was really uncomfortable when we were watching that.
That was a scary story. I could not help but just look around the room while he was telling that story of this person in their cabin in the middle of Montana and, you know, in the middle of winter but 50 below, and you're just hanging on every word. And the guy was babbling on about something, and the wife is dead and the cat's dead. Like, what? I have so many questions. Why was the guy still there? Like, why Why is the cat frozen? Why is the person? Why did you not get some firewood? I don't know what's going on, but I have some
Because
questions.
he wasn't prepared,
He
James.
wasn't. That was the moral of the story.
That was the moral of the story.
It's true. Oh my god. It was
He was not prepared. He
Very
should've-
emotional.
He should have eaten that cat.
Probably. I mean, the cat didn't catch him any rabbits.
Oh,
probably
man.
so.
I feel like that was the first time that guy tried to get his cat to catch a mouse.
Yeah, it seemed like he just started to train that cat.
Those
He's
are,
like,
those are some pretty pudgy cats for being like fierce doomsday cats.
he's like, hey, you know what some crazy shit'll be for when this TV crew comes? I'll show my cats hunting.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of it, right? I mean,
Didn't pan out a lot.
You kind of put on the show for the TV crews. I don't know. Are we going through kind
So-
of like the high level
Yeah, so,
format
like,
of the show?
We can't, but like I definitely think that the presence of the TV cameras is making them kind of show all their stuff, because like there's no way these people are just running these drills like every day like they're showing on this thing. Probably.
I don't know. You're
I don't know. I
calling
feel
the
like-
reality
I
TV
feel
show
like-
liar people?
I feel like at least the first guy's probably doing a lot of stuff a lot of the time.
So you think guys going out and panning for gold constantly and stuff
No,
like that?
I mean, all right. Let's just go. There was 3 people on the show. There was one guy in the middle of Montana that had a house in the middle of nowhere, like 7 miles from, was it Wazoo? Whatever.
Missoula, Montana.
Missoula.
Wazoo.
Missoula. Whatever.
Where is Wazoo? Wazoo's a school.
Yep.
I don't know.
Is
in the
that
middle of nowhere. I don't know.
Wisconsin?
I don't know.
There's apparently
Anyway,
no interest in
He's in
Wazoo.
Montana, and he is preparing for. What was he preparing for?
He was preparing for World War III.
World War III, where I guess he was far enough away from nuclear explosions that he'd be okay.
Well, he said he's hoping they're not going to go nuclear, but he's ready for anything.
He's preparing
That's
for
right,
a
'cause he had the
homeland
cape.
invasion.
But he's pretty sure the Russians or the Chinese or both are definitely invading the United States any day now,
Yeah, that's right around the corner
right around the corner.
because he wants to get laid. So he's waiting for there will only be 6 people left.
That was
The-
really the moral of the story for him.
Yeah,
He got real excited when he talked about being able to repopulate the Earth and reproduce with someone, because I don't think that is part of his normal life.
He had a very
I don't-
specific number on that.
I mean-
you know, when there are 6 people left,
He's put a
we
lot
will
of
make
thought.
sure to procreate.
Yeah,
he put a lot of thought in how many people have to be left
Yeah.
for this.
He's like, how many people in the world is it going to take to reduce down to in order for me to get laid? Because that's what's going to have to. That's the number I need.
like 6. Yeah.
Yeah, so then we had a second group of people that were preparing for the land invasion of World War III.
So after last week's podcast, I wrote down their names. Do we want to try to get James to guess what their names were?
Oh boy.
Oh,
so I
man,
already.
this is a new segment.
So I already gave
a
away.
new segment.
So I already gave away the first one. So I
Wait,
already gave
names
away
of people
first
on the
one.
show?
The 3 main preppers.
Oh fuck! I have no idea.
Hold on,
I know the
hold on.
first one was Jimmy Falcon's something or other.
It's just Jimmy Falcon. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I just wrote down the first names. I just had Jimmy written down. That's
Okay.
right. I
But-
tried to
but
come up with
is
some
that really his name,
acronyms.
Jimmy
I
Falcon?
couldn't come up with any acronyms.
His name is actually Jimmy Falcon, and he has the best name ever.
Jimmy Falcon
Or
definitely wins
you
the
mean
name game.
name
Wait.
acronym of the week?
If I could come up with an acronym for these names, I would.
Oh, hold on.
Or an
let's
anagram
go
for
over,
these names?
Let's go over all
Oh, yeah,
the
that's
people
what-
on the show first, and then we'll go back to the acronyms.
Anagram. Sorry.
We're all saying acronyms.
We have moved away from. We're not talking about mega anymore. It's not acronyms.
Damn it, James.
Oh man.
I wasn't really paying attention. Okay, so these people have tons of guns and lots of. They do a lot of drills to prepare themselves for the land invasion. Even though they got a security score of 13.
Do we talk about the exploding raccoons yet or not
No.
yet?
Well, I don't know if we've explained how the scoring system works either.
Yeah. Well, I don't
There's
know
5
how
different
it's going.
categories, and I'm going to try and remember them all right now.
I have them for you.
I want to try to guess them.
Okay, go for it. I'm going to keep you honest.
Water,
Yeah.
food,
Mhm.
security, X Factor, and shelter.
Yeah. You were slightly out of order, but you did name them all correctly.
Does the order matter?
I mean, according to this
I mean-
webpage, it does.
Oh, it does.
And then the third person was preparing for global warming, ending the world by having lots of radio equipment and being on the top of a
I'm real excited to talk about that guy's story.
So
hill.
yeah, so basically the premise of the show is these people are all kind of showing off their doomsday prep situations to these survival experts who I guess run the show, and then they rate them in all those categories on a scale of 1 to 20, and then they get a score out of 100 at the end of the thing.
And I think they estimate how long they would survive for the specific scenario they are prepping for.
Yeah.
which is an odd facet of the show to me. Where I feel like you should just get a general survivability score and not just you prepared for a hurricane, here's your score.
No, because they're specifically preparing for a thing.
Right. But that just doesn't matter if like World War III happens, but you were preparing for global warming.
No, I understand.
Guess what you did anyways.
No, I understand, but like you have to have a way to.
I think that's why this should be a standard format.
I think it's just a general score, James. I don't think they're giving the score based on what they think's going to happen.
Here's what I didn't really understand. Like they spent the entire time with the second group of people just going over all their security stuff, and they got a 13. That last guy, who they had one shot of his gun closet, got a 19 on security. Like, I don't know what happened there.
I don't really know what's going on with the scores because the show seems to be about giving the scores, but they never actually show why they get the scores.
Yeah, there's not really like a clear like formulaic way that they got to the number they got to.
And that's why it kind of seemed like the score might have been specifically for a certain scenario. Because if you're preparing for a hurricane, you don't need the same kind of security as if you're preparing for a land invasion of the United States.
Sure.
I have a second theory, is that the stories for the security person were more interesting because of the exploding animals, and they wanted to show that versus like just a gun closet.
Well, you obviously want to show that.
I mean, the second person was also... She felt like real awkward when she was talking to the camera like all the time. I felt she was about to cry.
Well, she was really scared. Like she just like was obviously really upset about the potential ground invasion, and like just really upset about it because like her origin story was kind of weird. It was like just like something happened, and like her husband was like in Atlanta on 9/11. And then she got freaked out, and they decided to move like way out in the boonies and prepare for a ground invasion. Like,
I think it's that their cell phone stopped working for a little bit in 9/11.
Yeah,
and that was why she was so freaked out.
The cell phone networks went out, I think, when they were working or whatever.
But like the focus of their stuff isn't communications like the last guy.
Right.
It's like then I would understand. So you go in this extreme direction on like always maintaining communications.
Well, I think they're always in their little bunker area now, so you don't have to call anyone on a cell phone because you're just all in the same spot.
They're just driving those military style golf carts around with guns is all they're doing all day now.
We dropped the ammo box.
And giving their 11-year-old son all sorts of pistols and rifles.
Yeah.
So how many?
Man.
So how many security points do you think they dropped for ditching that ammo box accidentally during that drill?
At least one.
At least probably a point, right? Yeah.
I don't really know.
I don't know what the point of that
They certainly
drill
weren't
was.
ready for any invasion at all.
They weren't really ready for anything.
No.
I feel like, we get Chris, Brian, and Rob to roll up to that house, and they could probably overtake them.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that.
I mean,
I don't know about that.
I'm not sure who you
Challenge
want
accepted.
to go invade someone's house.
You give us a tank, yeah.
Yeah.
Then we can overrun that house.
Right.
Like all it takes is one tank. and the
Their
house is
whole
overrun.
drill was like, okay, we're in the house, right? And we have our guns ready to go. And we see some people coming. Everyone leave the house immediately and go outside into the woods.
right? Even though their house is built to be a bunker kind of thing.
Yeah.
To be
and they're
defended.
They're like,
let's shoot this taxidermy with a bomb in it versus just shooting the people from their house.
I think they realized their flaws, though, when the squirrel bomb did not do very much damage. They're like, maybe we should have just tried to shoot the guy.
Yeah, but the raccoon.
The raccoon was pretty explosive.
They're all in on raccoons.
Yeah. These guys are just making IEDs all over the place. Also, I don't know if this is legal what they're doing. They're just putting these bombs out in their property.
I don't know. Probably legal.
They also didn't do the Mythbusters thing. They were like, fire in the hole. Like, they didn't do any of the safety precautions.
Well,
of,
because
Does it
you
look like
can't-
the family follows any safety procedure?
Yeah.
Also, you can't yell fire in the hole because it's a sneak attack. Then you
Right.
warn the enemy that
well,
they're
I
coming.
meant for the practice.
Dude, practice how you play.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, that's why they give that kid a loaded gun.
Yeah. Man, I was really nervous. He was going to shoot that mom in the face in that drill.
He was aiming that gun at her face.
Yeah. No, she said to.
She wanted him
She's
to
like,
aim the gun
don't
in his
hesitate.
face.
I'm like,
She was like, you hesitated. You can't do that.
There's just blanks in that gun. It's fine.
oh my God.
I think there's real ammo in that gun. I don't think the mom messes around.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
I really want that house to be in an episode of The Walking Dead now. I want them to, Rick and company stumble on this house with exploding raccoons.
Yeah.
And then the walkers show up, and
Do-
they've
do
got
you
this,
think that
400-pound bathroom door.
Do you think they're walkers in the house when they come up on
Dude,
them?
I think that
there's
kid is
gotta
going to be
be.
a walker.
Dude,
He's just going to pop out and like
walker.
fucking just, giant kid.
So this is the only episode that I've seen of the show. Like, does anybody have like any crazy backstories? Like, hey, I'm prepping for the zombie apocalypse.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that kind of stuff on here.
So I've definitely seen the show before. The one episode I do remember was this great knife guy. I can't remember what he's called. I just remember it was the knife guy. and his whole thing was that he didn't need ammo because like in the world he was prepping for, it was like the city gets overrun. Obviously, there's no more money, there's no more things. All the people with guns are going to run out of ammo. And he's just going to overtake everyone with knives. And so, like, when the zombies start rolling through the city, he's going to be using knives to kill the zombies.
He was talking about zombies.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Specifically zombies. And that you can't rely on killing zombies with ammo because, A, when you shoot something, it makes a noise, so it attracts more zombies.
That's right.
And you can't recover that ammunition, and you can't produce any more of it. So when everyone's a zombie and you have all these guns, you don't have any ammo. You're just, out of luck.
I'm pretty sure you can still reproduce ammo.
I don't know if as a single person, do you know how to make a bullet?
Yeah, I've seen the Patriot.
I mean, like, how long would it take you to make an entire clip of bullets?
Probably a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know how to get the sodium chloride or whatever.
I don't think you know how to do any of this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not prepared. I haven't prepared yet, okay? But I don't think it's insurmountable to make bullets.
Who wants can we get a bullshit poll on this?
That Chris can make a bullet?
Yeah.
How much time does he have to make a bullet?
1 week by our next episode, bring it to the next episode.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, no, he's not going to do it.
I don't know. It would be tough for me to get the materials to make one.
Yeah, I was
in
just
a
thinking about
Doomsday world, you're going to get the materials.
Yeah. But for some reason, when there's zombies rolling around the streets of Seattle, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I can totally make that bullet
Well, if he
now.
was a prepper,
Yeah,
He's
clearly
not.
not a prepper.
I'm definitely not a prepper. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, maybe I'll spend some time.
If Walking Dead has taught me anything, it's for zombies you need crossbows and katana swords. And
It's
that's
true.
what you want.
Yep.
oh yeah,
You need to have zombies attached to you, but without
That's
jaws.
that's helpful, but the key thing is the crossbow. You just keep shooting them and just taking the bows back. And
When-
that's a foolproof plan.
Yep.
foolproof.
Blades and arrows.
That's the beginning of end of my zombie prepper. I got my crossbow, even though I don't actually have a
So
crossbow.
Rob, you sound like you've put some thought into this, zombie prep. you want to elaborate a little bit?
That's the end of it.
That's the extent of the zombie prep.
The guy with the crossbow has been doing pretty good.
It's true.
That's what I know.
when James and I were sitting at Rancho Bravo eating dinner on Halloween, there was a guy that walked in that had the best Shaun of the Dead costume I've ever seen. Like, he looked exactly like Simon Pegg. It was like total insanity. I wish I took a picture. We could put it on the page. Drop the ball.
Oh, man.
Maybe next Halloween.
Maybe next Halloween. Yeah.
We'll see the same guy at some random restaurant.
Probably.
Oh.
So the third person I also thought was kind of just like so prepared with his like communications thing, but what is he using it for right now?
Like bullshit.
How is he helping
Yeah.
anyone with anything?
It was very reliable.
He's
He-
just annoying all of his neighbors. Like,
and his dad.
and his
His
dad.
dad who lives down the hill.
His dad is just 80 plus and retired, and all he wants to do is watch The Feud. And, like, his son just won't let him, because anytime it fucking rains, he has to go send somebody to get him and bring him to his house.
Dad's watching Fast Money, and but he's got to like, hey, Dad, radio, come to the radio. Dad's like,
Is that thing in the other room? What is that?
What's that thing making the noise?
and he,
Actually, his dad seemed like a reasonable person. I don't want to give the guy
the
a
dad
hard
seemed
time.
much more
He
reasonable.
seemed real reasonable. Oh my god.
Sure. It was also weird because it seemed like, and this is probably just for the benefit of the episode, but it seemed like he just installed that CB radio in his dad's thing, like, that day. Like,
Yeah,
that was
right.
weird, because, like, he already had this insane communication system set up in his house.
And his dad doesn't live up on the hill. His dad lives down at lower elevation. And the guy's just
Oh.
shaking his head, talking about his dad, and, doing ridiculous things like that.
So they totally made this last guy out to have like this crazy elaborate, communication system. Was anybody else kind of like? I just feel like looking at it, I was not that impressed.
I mean, like, it was a good, like, ham radio kind of, like it was pretty, if there was an actual emergency,
Sure.
like, that's the kind of stuff you'd want to have, for sure, because, like, the internet wouldn't work and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he had like $2,000 worth of radios.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'm.
I mean, like,
You're just hating on this, aren't you?
he
You're
was
just a big hater.
he was super high elevation, had like a 50-foot antenna on his house too. Like, that's a
Oh.
pretty good,
Yeah, he's communicating around the world with that.
right, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know a ton about radios, but I don't know.
Well, he's helping Russia with their problems.
Right, because I guess the
He's
whole
calling
thing is
back-
like
he's calling back up
preparing-
for him.
Well, he's not preparing for the war, right?
He's-
So he was
right.
preparing for like a natural disaster or
Yeah.
something.
He had like
And-
weather satellites linked up somewhere. It seemed. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I fail to see the true value in what he's kind of bringing.
Let's
I
be
mean,
honest.
but-
You really didn't like it because he had Windows XP running
He
everything.
really did. That was really annoying. It's like, come on, dude.
Hey man, he wrote all that custom software himself.
Yeah, you mean
that's-
Notepad? He was just taking notes in Notepad.
Well, he had some ham radio software on that thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I saw a lot of Notepad and people writing stuff down.
Dude, it doesn't even plug into the internet. There's no attack vectors on
I don't think that guy
thing.
has the internet.
which is insane. Cause he's like
He's a
okay.
communications guy.
He's like I'm bringing in like 20 to 30 data feeds, and I got to sift through all of it and then disseminate the information. Like,
To do what?
who knows?
This was this guy's daily thing.
To
He like
go send his
legitimately.
neighbor to go pick up his dad
Yeah.
because it's like I can't go. I have to be at the basic communications.
It's like I wake up every morning and I'm like, I got about 20. And first of all, how do you not know exactly how many data feeds you have coming in? I got about 25. What do you mean about? You know exactly how many radios you have.
I mean, I think I might have like I'm pretty sure you said I have 20 data feeds. I think he said something like that.
He definitely said about 25 data feeds
I mean, maybe it just depends on
on the day.
the day.
And there was all this like emergency channels. I'm like, why don't you just, go to CNN.com? It's like, oh, there's a war breaking out. Shit, I guess I should leave. There's not some ham radio guy communicating, across like 30 hops that's telling me there's a war.
Hey man, that's where you get the real news, not filtered by the media.
Oh yeah, that guy's backstory was also crazy. He's like, yeah, I was talking to this dude in like San Juan or some island, and he was telling me about the weather and like the hurricane that was going on. Then the guy's roof blows off his house. I don't know if the guy's dead or alive. Like, why don't you communicate to somebody with your radios to go get that guy some help? You were just there talking to him.
This was
and didn't do
before he
anything.
had all
Yeah,
that stuff.
this is why he's a prepper.
This is why I got all that stuff.
Okay,
Also, it's a little difficult to like specifically say like, "Yo, I'm trying to communicate here."
you got a mic up.
It's a little bit difficult to go and say I'm just trying to like talk to people here because like there's so many different frequencies and like
Right.
somebody
Seems like-
from that area has to be specifically listening on that
Right.
frequency there.
So
So
you're saying there's better technology than radios?
there is, but like you
communication.
can't like the radio is the most secure thing for a disaster.
Why are you worried about security in a disaster?
Well, security in the sense that like it'll stay up and like it won't
So
be like
reliability.
reliable.
It's definitely
Yeah.
the most reliable.
Okay, right. No, I can get behind
Because
that.
he's run his natural gas generator because he has a natural gas well, and so that radio's just gonna be working no matter what, pretty much, unless the insane windstorm takes down his giant antenna. Then it might not work that well,
What are the odds in a windstorm that antenna goes down?
like 100%.
No,
Depends on how sturdy.
Well,
it
I
is,
mean, there's not a
guess.
lot of surface area, right?
I think it's about like 30% chance it falls down.
Oh, only 30.
I'm sure he's thought about
I mean,
it.
Yeah,
clearly,
like,
if a Cat 5 comes through, like that's probably going to be down. That's like
Where does this guy live? Like Tennessee?
He's like
or some
super
shit?
inland. He's not worried about hurricanes.
I think he was in the
Right.
Appalachian Mountains somewhere, like
I was
Tennessee,
talking about
North Carolina, something.
tornadoes.
That
Oh.
is not. That's not.
Just joking.
I don't. Yeah.
That's not. It's the wrong scale for that.
I don't know.
What's the tornado scale?
The F scale.
Is it?
It's like an F1, F
It's like
something.
F5.
Yeah, right.
I don't know the. It's called
From-
something.
I haven't
obviously.
seen Twister in a while. I forgot.
Yeah, categories are for hurricanes.
We should watch
The F
Twister.
scale is sure.
For the podcast, just in general.
Just in general, after this podcast's over,
It's true.
I like that movie.
Yo, cue it up.
What's your favorite part of Twister?
I like when the cows are flying around in the tornado.
Yep, me too.
No, I think the best part is when they're tied to the pipes and they're in the middle of the.
Yeah, it's pretty
tornado.
cool too. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's the best part. All right, wait to derail us, James.
Should we talk about the fact that he's freaked out about this rainstorm and they're showing the rain and it's like barely drizzling?
Yeah.
God.
And
I think it was more of a drill.
It did not seem like a drill. It seemed like he was super concerned
Seemed
about this
real.
rain. He was calling his dad, and his dad was just watching The Price is Right and not answering.
the sequence where he's trying to navigate his neighbor down the hill and trying to get him on all these. They're using all these paper maps and trying to get him on all these weird alternate routes down the hill. Like was insanity.
Yeah.
And then like there's like a road down the hill.
It was off road.
Next
This
thing
is in the mud.
Next thing you know, dude's off roading it. Like
Yeah, you got to be prepared. What if it's flooded? You got to go around the other way.
so you think it was a drill?
I think it was a drill. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that guy has the road navigation skills required for the job.
His neighbor?
No, the main guy.
I don't know if he has any of the skills required for this job. It seems like his system is so complicated that it
Right.
cannot possibly work. Like, it's so
I
complicated.
mean, you got to take the data from the feeds
Yeah.
and then inseminate.
I mean, like,
how does he sit through all that data?
I don't know.
understand how one
no
person
man
can
can
sit
do
there.
that much data.
I don't
He's
know.
he's like Bradley Cooper in Limitless.
Oh man.
Sees all the data, parses it.
I feel
I
like
feel like he could do something better with his abilities then.
Yeah, maybe.
I feel like he just
debatable.
needs to update his abilities. Like he clearly has a good understanding of the communication space. Like he just needs to, like, that's good foundations. Just adapt to some of the new stuff and
like
go that route.
taxidermying and
No, I feel like he should
IEDs.
be like and like computer communications and like networks and things like that.
Yeah, well,
he had
that's
Windows
gonna
8,
go
he was good
down.
to go.
Why even bother?
I don't know. He could build it better.
Well, why even bother? Then the internet is his crutch.
I don't know. He's got this whole system, and it just is super complicated. To Harrison's point, and I just don't see it working.
You want him to like learn some machine learning so you can pull all the information in and disseminate it without him? Is that
He doesn't. He just needs to learn how to write like a 3-line script to do that.
It's super unnecessary. See, the reason it seems so ridiculous is because they're showing off this scenario in like current non-disaster times. Like maybe some of this stuff works a bit better if shit's just broken down.
Yeah.
But like all this stuff is really unnecessary in this. Like people have fucking push notifications on their phone that can tell them when there's severe weather. They don't need this dude with his rig trying to figure it out.
Well, I just think the data is going to be old. Like by the time that guy gets the data, the tornado's already gone through town, and dude's like, "Hey guys, there's going to be a tornado." Oh, never mind.
I don't know. I mean, like that day is pretty fresh. Like he probably gets it straight from like the National Weather Service or whatever. Probably.
I mean, he might have his own weather
Right.
like thing on his house.
You think he's just like popping these things like all over his area?
Yeah, why not?
Actually, that's fair.
Yeah, yeah.
These people
I mean,
are
he's
crazy.
built
That's
a
all,
has
he
one
doesn't
of
have
those-
anything else to do.
No, he has to sit through all the data. Remember, who is going to do that?
Do you think he has one of those machines that they have in Twister that can measure the tornado?
Hopefully,
gonna
hopefully
say
he's
no.
got the like little ball things. That
Yeah,
go
that's what
opens it.
that's what I'm
Okay.
saying.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like weather.
Oh no, like in the movie Twister when they have to roll that thing into the tornado. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
He's not outside chasing tornadoes. He's in his house getting run over by the tornado.
But does he have his neighbors go chase tornadoes for him while he stays in the command center?
Oh, it's
can't-
coming this way. It's coming.
He
this
can't
way.
leave.
He cannot leave.
He's the linchpin of the whole thing. If he
But he
leaves,
calls
everything
himself-
falls
He
apart.
comes off the primary. Was that it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because
the
he's
primary
like
spoke.
he's the primary on the call tree. So he starts it, and then it goes down to all of the people who are super fucking annoyed with this whole thing.
Yeah, all his neighbors and friends, and oh my god.
No one else in that whole segment seemed happy about what was going on. Like,
Not
they're all
at
like,
all.
"Oh, okay, yeah."
I feel like when every time the cameras show up to one of these places, they tell them, "Hey, I want you to do a drill for scenario that you think is going to like end the world or whatever."
Right.
It seems
Right.
like that's happened for each three of these.
I mean, that's kind of the thing. Like, it's kind of, hey, show us what you got, and we'll give you a score. On the scoring thing, I really think they could have benefited from having some on-camera interviews with some real like survival experts who kind of break down how they're doing in those categories, because they kind of have like the voiceover. But like, I want like a named like survival expert who kind of gets on the camera and talks about it.
Yeah, like a Bear Grylls, like he come in and be
sure,
like,
something like that.
"Yeah,
That would
they're not really all that ready for what they think they're ready for, so we're giving them a 13."
Or how about
like
this?
a tank just rolls up, then they're dead.
How about this? Sorry, go for it, Brian.
I don't even care if like it's an expert. Just let me have some context for those damn numbers.
Yeah, that too. But here's what I actually want. So I want this whole show to work like it does, and then it turns into like Extreme Home Makeover Doomsday Preppers Edition, and they fucking pimp their shelter. Like that's what I want.
That would be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if the guy who gave the scores was The Rock, and The Rock is just explaining why they got these scores?
That'd be great.
I feel like that would take
instantly
another
makes the show
level.
10 times better.
Either The Rock or Exhibit, because then,
Yeah.
you can work in the Pimp My Ride stuff.
Can we get some mayhem? I think mayhem would be better.
Oh man.
Oh no.
I also
Somebody
don't
would
wanna-
just fucking shoot him. Is what's gonna happen.
I don't want The Rock to waste his time on the show. Okay,
He's got better
There's
things to do.
better shows for The Rock.
The Rock has infinite bandwidth. He can do everything.
Yeah, I don't think so. That's not how things work.
What?
Yeah.
But I feel like The Rock just shows up and is like, okay, what you got? And it's just hand-to-hand combat drills.
But a lot of the
He's like, oh, you got a gun? No, you don't.
The Rock is taking out the exploding raccoons.
Yeah.
He's like
He's
punching
like
them.
bites the head off the squirrel.
Oh man. So I feel like of the three people, the dude who I kind of believe is prepared the most is the first guy. Like it seems like he actually is pretty self-sustainable because like he's not living in society at all right now. He's just by himself in the woods.
Yeah.
And like sometimes he goes to the grocery store and tries to pay with gold flakes like an idiot. Like, I don't know.
Well,
How
clearly-
did he pay for those groceries?
Yeah,
'Cause
I'm sure he has-
tried to pay with gold, and she did not accept the gold.
I'm sure
But
he has a
then-
credit
That
card or
was just
something.
for the show.
How does he get money?
I think
Gold.
the show just made him look a little dumb.
He sells the gold.
He's actually selling the gold. He's hoarding the gold for the future.
Yeah, he should be holding it, right?
He's hoarding and
Yeah.
selling the gold.
Does he sell it online? Who's he sell it to?
Why would he
The
sell
cash
it?
for gold store.
Cashforgold.com.
No, he doesn't want the cash. That's why he's prepping.
No, he wants the cash to buy the groceries.
So in that town
Yeah, I don't
where he
know.
goes
Does
to
he
the
have a
grocery store,
normal
there's
town?
also a cash
He
for
has some
gold
walking
store.
around money.
Yeah.
You know, like he has some walking around money.
Look, the government pays him because he's unemployable, and that's that's how he gets his money.
Yeah.
He's on
he was
food stamps.
he was retired. Is he like retired military or something like that? Maybe he's like got like a military pension.
I feel like he was retired military.
Maybe
I
he's
know
just
the
got-
last guy was. The last guy was an officer
maybe
in the
just
army.
Social Security, maybe.
I forget about the first
Yeah,
guy.
like I'm sure that probably some kind of government assistance.
How does the mailman get up there?
I don't think that guy's getting mail.
He gets no
Here's-
mail.
How does he get his check?
Here's one of the
He's got a PO box, Brian.
Here's kind of why I question one of his choices. Like I understand wanting to isolate yourself from people and civilizations, so you don't get fucked up by the nuclear stuff, like all that kind of stuff, right? But like he picked one of the harshest environments possible to do his survival thing in. Like it gets to 50 below in this place where he is. Like why wouldn't he go and
Because-
pick somewhere that's a little bit more palatable?
Because zombies can't survive in the extreme cold.
He
True.
wasn't worried about the zombies. He's worried about the Chinese.
He just didn't want to sound crazy.
Oh yeah. Well, he failed immediately in the first 30 seconds of the show.
So, like, he's in a place where no one wants to be, no one really wants to go to, so he's pretty safe.
But he's making it significantly harder on himself to survive there.
Yeah, well, on your government pension, you're not buying a house in Boca Raton, okay? You're buying a house in the middle of...
I'm not saying he's going to be in
Montana.
Boca Raton, but there are places that are not as cold as that are more isolated.
Like,
That-
Well,
that's just,
the
I don't know.
snow was also one of the elements of his renewable water.
Because there was snow melting off the roof and he was capturing it.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, also you can melt snow in general.
What?
wait, snow?
Snow's
You
water?
You can melt snow? What?
No, yeah, for sure.
It's not just coming off his roof.
Yeah, but like that was what they showed. They showed him like capturing all the water
Right,
in the
that's
barrel
one
off the
element
roof.
of it.
Yeah,
Well, you also catch rainwater? Like,
yeah, all
Yeah.
kinds of water.
There's also in the woods, like there's decent game around. He can hunt.
I mean, there are other places that are woods that aren't 50 below. Is my only point. Like, there are also other places with snow that aren't 50 below.
I don't know. What was that? There's like one show. Oh, this is I just thought of the show for this show. There's a show, I think it's called like Surviving on the Lake or something. Have you heard of the show? It's something crazy where like basically these people don't want to like live or belong to any one country. So they go out in like this like lake. It's like off of like one of the like Alaska or like Canadian like lakes or something. It's like off like the main land of like the states. And so the catch is they are not allowed to be tied up to any part of the mainland. So they have to be anchored out in this lake. And it's something crazy like, you know, minus 30, 40 degrees because it's in like Alaska in the winter. And they have to like survive the winters on this lake and live in this like houseboat on a lake.
Why?
Because they don't want to like pay taxes and like deal with the government and shit, man.
James, what do you do with your spare time?
Apparently watch dumb shows. I don't know.
Okay.
Hence
mean-
this podcast.
I mean, you got to have something to put on in the background when you're working.
The show was just, you know, this is the purpose of the thing. When you're flipping through the TV and you see these ridiculous shows, you have to watch them.
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing. You
That's just
just,
because you don't have cable.
you just turn the TV off and you do other
You
things.
can't turn the TV off.
Just
No.
like, you know, there are books.
How are you going to become a zombie if you turn the TV off?
I don't, what?
I'll understand
got
what that
you
meant.
there.
Okay, all right.
Got him.
All right. Do we have anything else to discuss with this terrible show? Do you want to go to drinking games? You know, some drinking rules here. Rob, what do you got? What do you got for me here?
I actually wrote down a few drinking rules for this one.
Whoa. You wrote a note? You took notes?
I took a few notes this time. Not my usual style, but I wrote down. So on the show, they'll sometimes pop up random survival facts on the screen based on what they're talking about. So I was like, every time they pop up a random survival fact on the screen, you should take a drink.
That's a good one.
I wrote down every time there's a shout out to World War III or 9/11, you should take a drink.
Great.
Sure.
And I wrote down every time someone cocks a gun.
God, I was gonna
wow.
say. I was gonna say every time somebody pumps a shotgun.
I feel like everyone
take a shot.
Yeah, it does like, you know, you have to do a shot, right?
Yeah,
Everyone to-
like literally every time they show the guns, it's just something going. just pumping the shotgun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shotguns.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a shotgun.
A lot of shotguns and a lot of rifles. This is a pretty popular
Well,
weapon
the
choice.
first guy only had a pistol, though.
Well, the kid had a pistol too. And
Everybody
a
had
rifle.
pistols.
That kid had a massive pistol.
What were the...
Yeah.
That mother is terrible. man. Just like making her 11-year-old son go through like survival training, like.
Yep.
And anyway,
He was loving it though.
he wasn't loving it.
Oh,
He was like-
he
he
was
was
so
like-
excited about his life.
He was like, yeah. Well, so there's some shots that he looked really excited, but then like right after that drill, he's like, yeah. I don't know. My mom makes me do this like once a week. I guess it's okay. Like he said something like that.
I think I
kinda
was really
scary.
excited to see the explosions.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't you be at 11?
Are you not right now?
Be sweet. I would totally go if one of you guys had an exploding raccoon. We're going outside to shoot that thing off right now.
Well, I mean, if Chris can, make a bullet by next week, then we'll see what happens.
All right,
The clock's ticking, Chris.
challenge has not been accepted. I think anytime they get a score below 13, 13 or below, you should drink.
I have
One
one.
of the categories.
How about anytime somebody breaks some common sense safety rule?
Such as
Giving your
Example.
11-year-old son a gun.
and
Yeah,
telling him
like-
to point it in your face.
And don't hesitate.
Homemade explosives, like just guns lying around. Like, there's a lot of stuff that just could probably kill your family. That's not a goddamn natural disaster.
What about every time
true.
you're horrible to your family in some way? It's
Yeah.
like you get your kid to point a gun at you, or you won't stop bugging your dad who's just trying to watch TV.
We won't let you have
It's
watch
like every
Family
time
Feud.
your insanity like inconveniences another person.
So the first guy's doing pretty well in these categories. He's not bothering anybody but his cats.
No, that guy's doing great.
That cat's
Yeah.
loving it. Like, see how fat the cat was?
That cat was pretty fat. Cat training did not go well with the
You guys
mouse.
remember that time that guy took the bath in that bathtub that was heated by the smokehouse? That was weird.
That was a hot tub. That guy made a hot tub. That was great. That guy's just being smart.
Essentially, he has this smokehouse, and like he kind of creates the smoke with his fire, his wood, and like
Make jerky, right?
to make jerky, and like we're kind of looking at him like is that a bathtub that he's kind of lighting that thing with? And the next thing you know, dude's taking off his clothes and taking a hot bath like, outside his smokehouse
In the snow.
in the snow.
You gotta do what you gotta
I mean,
do.
hot tub outside with snow around is pretty great. As I've learned from my last trip to Whistler.
Yeah, I would love to have that dude on this podcast. I just want to hear this guy talk.
Do you think he has a Twitter account?
I don't know, but we're gonna find out.
We will, yeah.
Jimmy Falcon.
All right, we need something for like that guy. We need something for the first half, like
Part of the drinking rule? Well, he did mention World War III, so there's that.
All right, I guess we can leave the drinking.
What
rules
about a
there.
general drinking rule? Anytime somebody does something with an animal that doesn't just make any sense. like,
You mean, like,
such as
blow them
bringing your
up?
cat into the grocery store. Or relying on your cats to hunt for you.
Yeah, trying to
Do
hunt
the animal bombs count?
The animal bombs?
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like an exploding raccoon.
But I mean, it's not the animal's fault at that point.
And it doesn't matter. It
Okay.
still
Still
counts.
Making your animal do something ridiculous.
Sure.
How
I guess I
about-
was thinking more pet line, but okay.
How about chug the entire time each person is giving their really creepy intro story?
I like that one. That's, a
That's
good
pretty
one.
good.
That's a
You gotta,
good
you gotta be
one.
paying attention to that, though.
Sure.
I don't know. I was thinking like guys
Can you
every
not
word.
pay attention and drink at the same time?
No, one thing at a time.
So you can't drink while you think?
Nope.
It's either drinking or thinking.
Yep.
Okay.
Should there be an over-under rule for, like, the final score? Like, if they get over X, they have to start doing shots. Under this, they have to do, like...
Yeah. Well, I think if somebody
man.
gets over a 9, you have to like party with them, right? Because they obviously killed it.
No, you go
Hold
over
on.
there, they're going to kill you. Getting onto their for property.
So if they get over a night, and now you're just gonna go visit them and start partying with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you should party how you think they would party.
Not at all.
I don't know.
That's wasting resources, James.
Yeah, they didn't explain that, right? That first guy definitely had a booze like stash in that cave
Probably.
in his nuclear bug out
It's
location.
purely medicinal.
As in, they drink your sorrows away?
It's for cirrhosis, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that guy probably like distills his own liquor. Like it seems like that's like a
Fair.
mountain kind of thing to do.
Well, he can't afford.
That's true, I guess. All of his money goes into the doomsday prepping.
Yeah, the year's worth of food he has.
Yep.
So is anyone really eager to begin their life as a doomsday prepper now after the show?
No.
If I would if I don't have to be on that show.
Isn't that like the goal though?
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to totally bet my whole life that society doesn't fall and just enjoy my life until it does fall, and then I'm screwed.
That seems like a great plan because these people spend their entire lives obsessing about this stuff, and it becomes their life.
I feel like it's crazy when these people move away from their life to some other place because they think that society is going to just crash.
That first dude's been living in the wilderness by himself for 25 years.
Yeah, well, that's fine. He just did that.
No, he didn't. He moved there when he thought World War III was happening. That's the reason he moved out there. So
I feel like that guy has generally the better life of all of the other people on the show, though.
I don't know, man.
Now, the radio guy seemed pretty normal.
Yeah, I mean...
Actually,
normal.
Radio guy
normal.
is loving his life, and everyone around him is hating their life.
That's true. Everyone hates that guy.
He seemed the most normal.
I got a question about Guy in the Woods. How does he
Jimmy
get on the
Falcon.
show? Like, does he watch it on TV and be like, I want to be on this show? Or does someone in the town be like, producers, you should go up, drive an hour away and find this crazy guy? Like,
It's probably that, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's, that when he went to the grocery store, that clerk in there,
When he was trying to barter gold. Oh, man, that guy definitely does not have the internet.
He had a computer in the background. I don't know what he's doing with that, though.
Porn. He definitely has the internet. He has gigabytes of porn on that computer. You got to prepare.
It's true.
Until there's only 6 people left.
maybe he watches Doomsday Preppers on Hulu then.
Yeah.
That's how he knew about the show.
I was actually curious if that guy was off the grid or what, because he's pretty far out there. He's got to not have power coming in, right? They didn't really explain that.
I'm not sure on that one.
Yeah, it seems like he wouldn't because he's all about wood and burning wood.
I got an unlimited supply of wood. You mean
He has
the forest around you? Okay,
He has a wood generator.
it's true.
It runs on wood.
The guy was a real woodsman.
He has an unlimited supply of wood, and he wants you to know it. He wants those 6 people at the end of the world to know it.
It's true.
So, I feel like I'm going to ignore all your comments. The show does itself a disservice by having 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they go a lot more into all right, this is why they got a 13, and this is well, you could do better. There just seems to be so much. They try to do way too much.
So I have to agree that they were kind of light on the score explanation, but I feel like it was the right amount of content. I feel like spending any longer on any one of those people, I would have started to get kind of bored. There were some of those people I'm like, all right, can we move on to the next people? I
mean, that's what I thought from the very first minute. But, it's just hard to tell, the random scores, how can you, all right, so he did this. Is that a good thing to do? Is that a bad thing to do? I don't, you still don't know.
It feels like it was lacking, the expert sort of opinion or background, right? What's the specialist in, World War III prep or something, whatever, right? Or, the security dude or something. 'Cause I feel like there are shows that have those people, and those are a little bit better.
Yeah, so, I think we've talked about, The Colony before on this show, but, that's actually a really good one that kind of has, experts in that kind of stuff that, on camera, explain, hey, the colonists are doing this security thing. That's really good because, whatever. It's a lot better about that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, they would kind of explain, and the other thing I remember about that show is that, if they were trying to, devise a way to make something, they would kind of break down their design afterwards and be like, oh, this is why this is a good design, or this is the potential problems with the design, etc. And show you the inefficiencies, etc. Just I don't know. It seemed like this show was just lacking any sort of explanation about anything. It was well, this is what these guys are doing. Here's some numbers.
It was more just hey, look at these crazy people, and not hey.
That's what I get. It's these are the crazy people. This is what they're really crazy about, and here's some numbers that we came up with, but didn't really tell you how they got them. We got them.
It's just to keep it somewhat factual, or because most TV channels now are just oh, we want to get people in and watching this TV show, but if it's a network like Discovery, they need to keep it somewhat educational too, or try to.
But I feel like it was actually the opposite of education. It seems like it was centered too much on crazy people, and not enough on
But all they need is those little numbers at the end. They're oh, it's still educational. It's teaching you about surviving.
Yeah. So I guess the difference between this and this show on Bravo is the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm just imagining the show on Bravo.
So good.
Oh, no.
I was complaining about the recap. This goes to
gosh.
Bravo. Oh, man.
So,
There's
do you
so
think
much
Patty
worry.
could hook guy number one up? Like, what do you think the first thing she does to that guy?
Does he have enough gold to be a millionaire?
He might. Who knows?
Oh man, Doomsday matchmaker.
That would be super good, man. I would
I
watch
know,
the
it
shit
would
out
be
of that
so
show.
bad.
Oh my
It
god.
would be terrible.
Harrison,
what do you mean?
tell me what show you would not watch.
Like like in general.
You keep going like, I would watch the shit out of that.
Yeah.
And it's just like some mundane thing. Like, I would not watch that.
So you wouldn't watch the woman from Millionaire Matchmaker try to set that first guy up with a date?
No.
You wouldn't watch that?
No, it's going to be just like the Millionaire Matchmaker.
No, it wouldn't,
No.
man.
Just like
No
people
way.
socially awkward trying to go out with normal people.
It would
That's
be-
the exact show you just watched.
It would be so different.
What do you mean? How is it any different? Now they smell bad. Oh
true.
no! Like
No, he
it's
took a
like-
bath. He took a bath.
Because
took a bath outdoors in the hot tub.
Because at least the people on Millionaire Matchmaker have talked to somebody in the last 25 years, and that weren't cats.
He seemed to have a good conversation with that cashier.
Yeah, the bartering of gold
Kinda.
went real smooth.
Look, the guy in Millionaire Matchmaker, the episode we watched, just was socially awkward. Didn't know how to talk to anyone, let alone women. Like, how is that any different than that guy in the woods?
The guy has
It's
a
just-
crazy good beard.
Yeah, it's just different.
Like, he's just like
He just has-
older, has like not as pretty as the other guy. Like, he's still just as socially as awkward.
I mean, I think he just has a different set of issues that it would be fun to see worked through on,
Yeah,
on a show.
unworkable issues.
Maybe Patty would.
Would you rather see this guy on Dating Naked?
Nope.
Oh, no.
Not at all.
Man.
But this guy would not be out of place in Utopia. He could fit right in Utopia.
Would Patty try to set him up with one of her employees?
It's like, hey, this guy's
You gotta-
He's
you gotta
probably
think.
the only one that she could get to go on a date with the guy.
She would just try to convince one of her employees that she has a thing for the guy. Hey, I think you have a thing for this guy. No, you do. I could see it. You have a thing for this guy. You're going right now. You're going on a date.
Hey, you like gold, right? Yeah, this guy's some gold. I don't know.
Did you check him out? What do you think Patty would think of this guy's house?
She'd love it.
I'm in the Montana ghetto.
Am I going to get eaten by a bear out here?
I
Yeah,
didn't
I would
realize
totally
there
be.
was a ghetto in Montana.
Oh man.
All right. I think on that note, next week.
Hold on.
you-
So
you want-
we should go around and see if people would recommend that you watch this show.
is that a segment we're gonna add?
That's a new segment that we're making right now.
You have to
Actually,
intro the segment.
Before we get to that, I feel like Rob had a segment that we kind of segued away from earlier. That I
Oh.
think we should get back to.
Fair.
So we're getting back to the Ken James remember people's names segment.
Oh shit!
All right.
Hey, I challenge all of you to remember anyone's name on the show that's not the first guy.
Jimmy Falcon.
Yeah, not the first guy. He was the
I
only
just keep
memorable
thinking that
name.
like they gave him a fake name to like spoof off of Jimmy Fallon.
Maybe he gave himself a fake name.
Maybe.
Yeah, you think he doesn't want you knowing his real name.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Right,
Security
he was
hole.
Rusty Shackelford.
The most
He wasn't
disappoint-
preparing for the alien invasion, though. So
the most disappointing thing was that Jimmy Falcon did not have a Falcon.
Yeah.
That's true.
Big miss.
Just give that guy a Falcon. Why not?
Do you think it's weird that the second people gave away their exploding raccoon secrets? But now the
They
invaders...
were giving away
No.
all their secrets. They're just like, hey, here's our secret safe room with the secret escape door, so that no one knows about. Here's the secret compartment where our son hides if the people come in. Like they were giving away all their secrets.
The raccoons are out of the picture though because they were like, "Well, this doesn't work."
No,
another
the raccoons are in the mix. The squirrels are out of the picture.
Oh, the squirrels. Okay.
All right, James. What was the second person? What was her name?
Well, you have to give it to me in an anagram. I think that's how the game works, right?
Great.
I don't know if I can make this into an anagram.
Do we have a napkin?
Chris is checking out. He's taking a look.
Yeah, I don't know.
It can't be done.
This segment might not work if we don't have anagrams. I don't know.
Okay.
Because I
Okay.
clearly don't remember the names, so like, there's not really a whole lot of fun.
All right. It starts with a K.
Kim,
No.
It doesn't start
Christine.
with K.
Carrie.
That's the cat's name.
Oh,
The cat's name. I'm asking him this person's name.
Sir Pounce.
oh, okay. He knows. The cat's name was what? Kinky.
Kinky the cat.
Well,
Well, that could
Well.
something new to add to this show.
I mean, that guy needs some companionship when he's in the woods.
All right, so the girl,
I'm not saying
you
he's
go-
having
you go
sex
ahead.
with cats, but he might be having sex with cats.
Do we just pull a plug in the segment and you say the names right now? I
Yeah.
feel like that's just
Once you cross into bestiality territory, I feel like this
Oh no!
Our
God.
show's all right. Just give the name. I
So
guess.
the woman was Cindy, and then weather guy was Rod.
Rod.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot you can do with those.
I was like, Rod could be door.
Door.
But then it's like with only one O.
you are?
That would have been really bad if you couldn't get that one.
Maybe that's what we should have done.
Right.
Door with only one O. Can you come up with
No, that's what we need to do. Is like, all right.
Next
so
time.
the next segment, I guess, is would you recommend the show? Harrison, would you recommend the show? That was a heave.
Yeah, so I guess I'd recommend watching this. I mean, if you don't really have anything else going on, like maybe like you're working, I'd put it on the background. Like I definitely wouldn't pay for it, like anything beyond your regular Hulu or Netflix subscription or anything like that. But
So, like, if this is on or Dating Naked, which one would you put on?
I mean, I guess I would watch this one just because it seems like Dating Naked gets old kind of fast. I mean, I haven't really seen enough episodes of this to understand if it really gets old, but I think that I don't know.
So, you'd rather watch crazy people versus somewhat naked people
Versus crazy naked people. Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, if you want naked people, you can just put on porn.
That's true.
Like,
I mean, I do watch a lot of porn in the background when I'm working. It helps me
What?
focus.
you could be hard at work. Get it?
No.
Rim shot.
Cue the drums. Yo, cue the drums.
This is when we need the soundboard.
Yeah, we got to get a soundboard soon.
You just
Some
need two
point.
sounds in that: the drum sound and the air horn.
All right,
Oh, God.
James. Well,
Yeah,
you're-
yeah. Yeah, so I thought the show was entertaining. It's not the show that, I think needs your full attention, but it's entertaining, and, if you stumble across it, it's a good watch.
B-Rye.
Well, if you're looking for some crazy people to watch with an interesting backstory, go for it. But
But what if I just want to watch crazy people?
then go watch Hoarders, and you should probably reevaluate your life.
Okay.
Fair point.
Burn.
Rob?
I don't know if I'd recommend it or not recommend it because, like, I compare it to like Tool Academy, where as soon as the episode ends, like, I can't wait to watch more of that show, and I don't get that vibe. But like, it was good for one episode. I wonder if it gets kind of old, but for like, it was pretty entertaining for one episode.
It is a thing that exists.
It is a thing that
This
exists.
is a show that is on TV. Correct.
What?
All right. The show is pretty terrible. It falls into many reality show annoyances with annoying recaps, not explaining anything, and just showing the craziest of everyone. So I'm going to go this on the negatory, do not watch list.
Is there any show that we've done that you would recommend that people watch? Like maybe Married at First Sight?
I actually would recommend Married at First Sight. I've actually watched quite a
Yeah,
bit.
I've heard a little bit from Chris has been binge watching
like-
Married at First Sight.
Like, I really enjoyed that. I felt like I was watching a documentary about real people, whereas a lot of these shows, I don't feel like that's it at all. Like, I don't think these are real people, or if they are, they're very caricatures of themselves.
Mhm.
However, saying that, later in that series, they do a lot of the reality show, hey, watch this thing because this might happen, but they're just showing you the little details over and over again, or like what may seem like something's going to happen. Like at the end, like towards that show, it's like 5 weeks to decide if they want to get married, like divorce.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things in that show that happen that they're like, oh, they could get divorced, they could not get a divorce. Whereas like if I was just watching documentary, I felt like I would know already. Like I wouldn't have to wait. And I
Right.
feel like you kind of knew, and then at some point the editing made it seem like they
kinda
stopped
keep-
showing you
right.
the real stuff anymore, because then you would already know what their answers would be.
Right. I mean, it's
'Cause they
obviously
wanna
it has to be
keep-
cut in
'cause
kind of
they
a way
wanna
to keep
keep you
you
watching.
interested. Yeah.
Like, I think there's like 8 or 9 episodes. Like they could have easily gotten that back down to like 4 or 5 if they,
Mhm.
but they were apparently just trying to fill. So I don't know. I can't imagine the second season being as good as the first season either. So
Sure.
that was just long on a show we're not
No,
really
no.
talking about. So
Well, we need another update on another show that we've watched
yeah,
before.
since we're on updates, does anyone want to
updates.
give the Utopia update?
I mean, I feel like we have the
feel
guy.
like-
So I can talk about it for a second. So we've kind of long speculated what would happen if Utopia got canceled. You know, would those people still just be living on a farm just with no one recording them for the next year?
That would still be great.
Which would be amazing
Yeah.
because they're like forced to because of their contract.
Just giving yoga lessons still.
Yeah, it's like for $30 or whatever. Yeah, but we found out the answer because Fox is canceling Utopia. It's done. They're pulling the plug on it. Production's over. Everyone's going home. Apparently,
Shock.
everyone's so shocked. It was getting terrible ratings, and I guess that they had reduced the number of days that it was on per week already, and it still wasn't working out. So now the show's just full on canceled.
Yeah, I think we had an update on that.
Yeah, so what happened to the people? They bust them out of there?
Yeah, they just sent him home. Like I think that they said that like I'm not sure if it's shut down yet, but they're shutting it down soon. Like they give the time when like the live stream is going to cut off and stuff.
I think it's November 7th, I think is the last show.
Yeah, so tune in for that,
Or not?
or probably not.
I do kind of want to see the Fox crew like invading, maybe tearing it down. Or do you think they're just gonna like shut off the feeds before everybody comes in?
I think they're going to burn the set to the ground with all the people.
That'd be kind of great if like the final episode of Utopia was just like fake army storms Utopia.
Well, that'd be great.
That would be
Just
take
blow it up.
That'd be
Just like a
really
war.
funny if they just made up like an in-world reason why it shut down and not just like
Or
ratings.
we talked about Walking Dead earlier. They just like stage a zombie raid on Utopia.
That would be amazing.
Until
man.
That might actually bring the show back.
Right. I mean,
until
Fox was
Red
really way to
like
go
kills
with this.
somebody.
Didn't he leave, or is he
Yeah,
still
yeah,
there?
he's gone.
So, if Fox is listening, you can still do it. There's still time.
I mean,
Let us write and produce the last episode of Utopia. If anyone from Utopia is listening,
We could probably transition it right to a movie after that, too, I think. Next summer.
sure.
Maybe, we'll need a year to shoot. Maybe in the following summer. Summer
a year?
2016.
Why were we shooting for a year?
I
You
wouldn't worry
can't
about
rush
it.
these things. There's a lot of proposed
We've already
production.
have like 3 months of footage.
There's
What
gonna
else
be
footage
there's
do?
gonna
So
be
we
a
just
lot
go
of
to editing
technical
for a year?
difficulties.
Here's the fatal flaw with Utopia, I think, and there's a lot of them, but here's the fatal flaw. The entire idea of the thing is for them to produce this utopian society where they're all living together in peace and harmony. And the problem is that doesn't make for good reality television. So basically, when they kind of have these conflicts and they're voting all the interesting conflicty people off of the show, it's just becoming less and less interesting. Like the first 2 people to go were the Utopia State of Freedom people, who are the most interesting people on the show. So as it progresses, it just gets more and more boring.
Yeah, it's just a lawyer dude being all
Yeah.
lawyer and boring.
Yeah.
The weird thing is that this show is successful somewhere, and that's why they decided to bring it stateside.
It was based on the hit Danish format.
Yeah, so like how is it successful there and not here?
I don't know, because
The Danish.
Will you- please analyze this for me.
Yeah, I feel like as we brought up in the show is like I want to see this Utopia versus another Utopia to do something. Like there's just no impetus. There's just 15 people that can't cooperate with each other that don't have to. They're
There
just
are-
in the same space.
there are no stakes at all. There's no prize. They can leave whenever they want to, and they just get replaced by some random person. Like there is 0 stakes on that show, so like it doesn't make you want to care about it at all.
Yep.
So the only thing you have to lean on is the interesting people who quickly went away.
All right.
I like whatever article I read about it. They just called it the real world in the middle of nowhere that nobody cares about.
With less interesting people, yeah.
Right, because the people just aren't as crazy. I think even the real world had, some level of competition and shit happening, right?
I think that they were just living together in a house.
Just a house?
Well, there was like the Real World Road Rules Challenge,
Right, there's a
which
Road
was
Rules
kind of a
crew,
competitive
yeah.
sort of thing, yeah.
Kind of.
Which we should
Anyways.
watch.
Oh, God.
All
I knew I
right.
shouldn't have brought that up.
All
Damn
right.
it.
Next week, we're going to watch Bar Rescue. James, you want to give us the description and what episode we're going to be watching? Do you have that?
I do not have which episode we're going to be watching, but I do have the descriptive.
All right. So we
Narrative.
don't know what episode we're going to be watching.
Just
We'll
keep
follow
your
us
eye on the
on-
Facebook.
We'll find a good one, we'll post
all
it.
right. Give us the description there, James.
All right. A well-run bar can be a money-making machine, but a poorly run one can be one owner's worst nightmare. Bar Rescue is a docu-reality series featuring veteran nightlife expert John Taffer
Nightclub Hall of Fame member John Taffer.
Oh my God!
as he seeks to revamp and rescue bars on the brink. Taffer and his dream team of industry experts understand the science behind a bar's success and spare no details in their rescue. tackling everything from the perfect pour to the height of the bar stools.
So here's what I want to do in the off week. I want to get in touch with the Nightclub Hall of Fame people and try to get them on the podcast to explain why John Taffer's in the Nightclub Hall of
The
Fame.
Nightclub Hall of Fame
He
people,
invented the Night of Club Hall of Fame.
The random people that put that website together?
Yeah, 100%.
It's like, isn't it like John Taffer, like Lil Wayne?
No, it was
And-
it was Lil John.
Oh, Lil John, because he's got
Because-
so many clubs.
because of the abundance of club bangers that guy's produced.
Oh, man.
So he's in the Hall of Fame
All right,
now.
all right,
I
guys.
bet the people who made that website are available. Actually, this is the most realistic person we've
Exactly. That's why I'm
getting on
saying
the
we could
show.
probably get these guys.
All right, we'll talk more about Bar Rescue
It's
next
going to be
week.
good. I'm
And if you want to know what we're
talking
talking about, there's Google the whatever. Anyway,
The Real
Nightclub
Housewives of
Ho-
New Jersey.
No, it's Nightclub Hall of
Nightclub
Fame.
Hall of Fame.
Oh,
is what I
yeah.
was trying to get at, but I forgot. Yeah, so you can follow us and find out which episode we're watching at facebook.com/who put this on, and you can follow us at Twitter at who put this on, and you can email us questions at whoputthison@gmail.com. Harrison, you got any plugs?
You can follow me on Twitter at Harrison Hoffman.
James,
You can find me on Twitter at CanesJ3.
Brian,
I guess you can find me on Twitter at Monkey Suck.
Great handle. Solid handle.
Can you explain your Twitter name
are there
for the audience?
are there two S's?
Yes, there's two S's, and the words are separated by an underscore.
Okay.
But-
No one's gonna be able to find you.
I mean, I
unless you know.
guarantee if you like search for Monkey Suck, like this is going to come up. Like it's pretty unique.
I feel like you have a dark personal backstory around monkeys.
Yeah, we need
Should
the
we have
backstory
a
here.
nice slow pan in of your face while you explain?
Well, where's your beers? You got to be drinking while I tell the story.
Oh,
true.
man.
Oh,
All right,
man.
get them ready. Line them up.
Nah, there's no story. I think I was just like pissed off at like some other player online or some other person.
They're just pissed off
And-
monkeys.
So you're like Bob Sucks in Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
You're like Jimmy.
Jimmy Pesto.
Jimmy Pesto. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Great.
I made that just out of spite for that person, and it stuck.
All right, Rob, you got any plugs?
I'm on Twitter at RobKits.
All right, you can follow me at the Chris Lorenz, and we might the DPPL might be twitching some 24 PS2 game this weekend, but we're trying to fit it in the schedule.
So we should explain that that's our 24
No, we explained it
base
last week.
podcast. Well, I mean, maybe people have listened to every single episode.
Yeah, well, the DPPL is a 24 based podcast that we were doing for the last season, and we always like to try to find new content, and the PS2 game is always good content. So we'll see you guys next week.